Man, this is so nostalgic in some weird way. It's so funny, man. Schlecker truck, yeah. Hello there, great person, and welcome to Let's Watch Some Monster, which is the anime that won over all the other anime when we polled on Patreon. So now, if you've seen my Death Note reactions, you probably are aware that we're starting something new today, and many people have recommended this one, both on Patreon and on the channel in the comments. So I can't wait to see what this is about. So all I know is that it is taking place in Germany, I do think. So probably that's why you wanted to have me watch it, because I am indeed German. So my background, if you're new to the channel, I am a German physicist and a psychologist. So I do both. So I do research on how physics understanding works, and my main areas are quantum physics and educational psychology. So you will get comments on those areas, and you will get probably a lot of comments because if you read the title of the video, it is saying react analysis. So I will react, but I also will probably pause an abundant amount of times and tell you my thoughts on the scenes. And for some, that's too much pausing. So if it's too much pausing for you, I mean, that's fine. I'm sure there are other people who do not pause as much as I do, but I will just give you my honest, unfiltered opinion on this. And it might be that some of the episodes I don't like some stuff I might dislike, and I will tell you. So if you're ready for that, that's good. If you're not ready for that, you might, I don't know how good this is. People have told me this is exceptional, and if people tell me this is exceptional, I very rarely have anything bad to say, but it's just a warning. Sometimes it has happened where, people didn't like me also pointing out some flaws I had with things, but it almost never happens. Because I really like the stories people suggest to me. And so let's start with Monster. So Monster is indeed German, as you probably know, and it means monster in English. It's the same word. And I don't know what it's about. So a monster is obviously a creature of great power, or that you're afraid of, something that goes after you. And we'll just see what it is. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like my content. Also check out my other reactions. I did stuff like Attack on Titan, Arcane, Frieren, Bleach, and also some stuff like 3D Body Problem, Dune, and Prophecy. And so without further ado, let's start the watch, have some fun with it. Let's see what this is about, and why you wanted me to watch this so badly. Let's just go.
Doch ich frag mich, wer wir sind.
Oh, so we do have Bible things. I saw a beast rising out of the sea having 10 horns, and on its horns were 10 diadems. Is that a Leviathan or a behemoth or another creature thing? It was one of the weird Bible things. I know there are some really weird depictions in the Bibles, like there are angels that are pretty fricked. So, interesting. And the dragon gave it his power, and just, this is Apocalypse, I think. This is from the Apocalypse, yeah. And his throne, and they worshipped the dragon, for he had given authority to the beast. So monster in German can also mean something like beast. So they apparently really go all out with monsters. Might be a show about supernatural stuff. I would love that. I love some horror as well. Like, this feels very horror. So and also dragon is the ultimate god of chaos and destruction in stories, obviously. I mean, many people have written stuff about that, obviously. So they worship the dragon. Yeah, I do think this is from the Apocalypse. Who is like the beast and who can fight against it. Yeah, Revelations. Yeah, so who is like the best? Interesting. Why though? I like it. It is a bit dark and gritty. Operationssaal 1. Oh, so Operation Room 1.
素晴らしいオペだったよ。ヘル、ドクター天馬。
I'm sorry, you said Herr Dr. Tenma, which is like, so they're calling him German. So doctor is obviously like a medical doctor here. Like every doctoral title is called doctor in Germany, but you, by the fun fact, you have to say you're a doctor of medicine in Germany, I think. Because the things you have to do to get a PhD in medicine are different from all the other fields where you get a PhD. Like I did get my PhD in pedagogical psychology, you know, so it was a different thing than in medicine. Yeah, anyway, so we had an operation on an aneurysm. I guess that is something in the brain, like a clot or something. Like I'm not a medicine man, like I'm only for the mind and not the place the mind inherits. I do know some like neurology, obviously from training, but you know, not that much, so don't expect anything there. So we've got a brilliant surgeon. That's nice. They work so fucking much though. I do think sometimes they work 80 hours straight. Yeah, like 6 hours. Also, that is something, and I know I paused a lot already, so you know what you're getting yourself into now. The thing is, you also, if you're a surgeon, something can go horribly wrong and you're stuck there. You're just stuck there. I do think they can have people take over their shifts, but I'm not sure how often that happens. So if anyone's a surgeon in the comments, tell me. But I always thought it was like very, very heavy. For example, someone I know had a very big operation. It was supposed to take like to last 2 hours, and it was like 8 because like almost all the blood was lost and stuff. Like very, very, very bad stuff, you know. So, but like that can happen. And if you're a surgeon, and suddenly blood starts pouring. I mean, they are professionals, of course, and you have to, I think, be very well trained to be a surgeon. But you know, it's like. So why is he doing his job, though? Ooh, what's happening there? He seems very compassionate, I think, but he's peeing off. Okay, that's weird. Did someone die, or is someone terminally ill? Oh, God. Oh, that's bad. Holy shit, that's really bad. Holy shit, man, what? That was an introduction. I mean, did he do that operation? I mean, I really am sorry. I might have missed that. Because they said, no, this operation, I do think they said he succeeded because he's a star. You know, so, I mean, that must suck. Being a mother, probably the mother, like, so her grandchild probably asked her about her son, and son was probably gone. I wonder why he looked at them. I mean, it's not his case then, but yeah, it's interesting. But that's a lot to drop. Oh, we've got... I will not watch openings ever. I will watch them after the show, but that sounded very biblical again. Herr Dr. Tenma! Dusseldorf! Interesting, Dusseldorf. I was living near Dusseldorf for a while. 1986. Interesting. I wonder if these buildings are really in Dusseldorf. Looks a lot like Dusseldorf, like a German city though. Like this church is very, like I've seen churches like this, and this house as well. Like these houses are very German here, I think. So, yeah. Looks almost exactly like a street I lived once, but it wasn't in Düsseldorf. So he's writing a paper. It's got a wife. Or fiance. Kenzo. Eva Heinemann. I knew a teacher of mine was called Heinemann. He was really cool. She looks pretty old though. How old are they? Like 35? Liebert. Ooh, yeah, okay. Oh god, oh my God. We get a lot of history here. So Liebert is of course a German name as well, who fled the west from East Germany. I don't know how much you know about German history in other countries, but there was, of course, the splitting of Germany into two states, so to speak. We've had Eastern Germany, which was called DDR, or in English DDR, and we've had Western Germany. Western Germany was occupied by the US, the British, and the French, and the East was occupied by the Russians, the UdSSR at that time. And so there were two partings. And when I was a child, I confused them a lot, like in primary school when they taught us about this. So there was a big death strip across Germany between the East and the West. And there was a wall in Berlin, but Berlin is in the East, so there's just the city. And in Berlin, it was also Russia, like UdSSR, French, US, and UK occupation. So in Berlin itself was a small Germany, so to speak. So you had to fly into the western parts of Berlin because it was from the west. I do think there were possibilities to go by train and stuff, but the borders were really, really harshly kept. So you had minefields, you had barbed wire, you had dogs, you had guard dogs shooting you dead, and like it was a really, really big cluster freak on the border. And escaping to the west was like this big dream people had. And for example, bananas. You didn't have bananas in the east, like in the west you did have them. And I did tell the story once in my Attack on Titan reaction, so I will only shortly tell it here. But my teacher, my biology teacher, went, I do think in 86 or in 84, like somewhere in the 80s, he went to Berlin. So we were from the west of Germany, near the Dutch border. So he went with his class to Berlin because every class goes to Berlin always in Germany. Like 1 year in school, you go to Berlin. That's like something everyone does, I think. And so he went there with his students, and they were all of age. And they were given special passports to go into the east, so from the western Berlin part to the eastern part. And they were supposed to go back before 8 p.m. in the evening. Otherwise, the passes would be revoked and they would have to stay there in the east. And it was like this horror scenario for them because the east was pretty poor and run down by that point, and everyone was listening in on their neighbors. Like it was very authoritarian, and everyone spied each other. So in East Germany, you try to get out. Some people, and there, I do think there is even a documentary, like 100 flights from East Germany, where people went with, like, they took spoons and dug tunnels through the like beneath the wall, and they built themselves like these balloons from a cloth, and then flew over the wall, and many were shot dead. So someone fled from the east to the west, and with my teacher it was the same. Like they lost a pupil, and it was almost 8 p.m. and they barely found him and got back. So it was very, very scary. And my teacher, when he told me that, he was so afraid. Like we were in Berlin in I think 2008, and he told me that story because he remembered it. So I know there was a lot, but perhaps you found it interesting. Yeah, and like they were like, yeah, see, they are fucking happy. Yeah, they must be so fucking happy. I cannot believe how happy they must have been. Because the East was, like, I only know it from the Western side. You have to keep that in mind, please. So I only know what the people from the West told us, and the people who fled told me, like some I know, they were like, that was the holy grail of life, to go to the West, to make that somehow. So they must be almost as happy as knowing they get another child or something. You know, it was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry as well. Grundig, this, or I do think this is a real, like, oh, you don't see it here. Like the TV is from Grundig. I do think that's a real German label. So they will be in Dusseldorf. Dusseldorf is the West. So he did. So Herr Rosenbach, he did do surgery in it. Oh, is he related to his wife or whatever?
バッハさんですが、復帰の可能性は
Interesting. Those were different times, I guess.
全力を尽くします。
I wouldn't say opera singers are nowadays very popular in Germany. We do have a very big opera in... oh God, I don't know the city. There's a city where there's a very big opera, a very pristine one, but... most people are like, yeah, opera is for the snobs a bit. Like, I like opera in principle, but I never was to one as well. And but he seems to be a celebrity here, and I do think these times there was a lot of focus on television. Like people had they were always watching TV. So yeah, and there were operas on TV as well, I think so. That's cool, but that's a lot of work. Even more hard cases. Oh, so you're only part of the surgeon's team. Man, I don't like her eyes. She's very... she looks very fucking evil. I don't know why. And he looks like completely deprived of sleep, man. Yeah, I guess that. So he's got a Japanese name, but he's in Germany. Man, she's really, really scary. That sounds a bit like you just want that. I don't like her voice as well. It's so calm and like a snake a bit. It's so weird. Why do I think it's like a snake? Wow, like that must be so much stress doing an operation like that.
ありがとうございます。うまいのはオペだけじゃない。
Dr. Becker, okay.
院長の娘のハートまで解きたもんだ。
So he has captured the heart. So did she come onto him? Did her father start it? I don't know.
病院は政治の世界だからな。
Hospitals ruled by politics. It is though.
君が成功させたオペラ歌手の手術。たようにテレビで記者会見だもんな。
The thing is, though, they know he did it, and I know, of course, for the public, that's like that's really shitty to him. But in the end, he has a bit of power through that. I think. I don't know how his character is, though. He seems to just like his job and do it a lot, or he might want to save people. I mean, most surgeons I've met do want both, but. Oh, the others. What happened there? Why are they showing me these two again? And why is she so pissed at him? Is she pissed at him? Yeah, like, what's going on? What? Why? Oh, her husband, okay. But why? What happened? Yeah, but... oh, shit, man. Ooh. Oh my god. Oh no. Politics, I see. Oh god. I don't know how bad it is, but knowing that corruption eats into every system, even hospitals, obviously, even though, like, wouldn't it be cool if in hospitals there's just people who want to save other people? But things like this, like, you've got a person that is very wealthy and probably will get a lot of fame in press conferences, and you've got a, like, I don't know, normal, middle class, lower class, whatever, working man who's just some man. Like, who will you choose? And I don't think he did choose it. I do think the director or whatever, the Dr. Heinemann, I do think he chose this because he wanted the press conference and stuff. So that's so fucking harsh. He doesn't look like he knows. Yeah. But who operated on him? Who fucked up? Holy shit. He seems to be taken aback. Oh, it's even worse. Interesting. I didn't know it was a Turkish man. It makes sense a bit from the head garment, whatever she's wearing. I don't know what it's called. But there were many people called Gastarbeiter in these times as well. Like, there was, I don't know why exactly. They were mostly from Poland, though. I do think there was a big shortage of jobs, or there were opportunities for people from other countries to come in and do more like menial jobs, so the shit jobs. And there was a big wave of migrants in that time, and they were called Gastarbeiter. And they were pretty much looked down upon by society a lot. I know one or two sons and daughters of families like that. Like, they were a lot of the time hardworking. Sometimes they did have their own circles as well. But it was always circles that also they were mostly very conservative circles, as far as I understand. There were exceptions, of course. There were other circles that were more violent sometimes, as it is. But so basically, this is a situation where he had, or someone, not him. I don't think it was him, because he was taken off, they say here. So someone had to choose between like the poorest slop, or schlock, or schmock, or whatever, and like this prestigious singer. What will the hospital do? Obviously, they take the singer because it brings in more money. Because then also you could also argue they will save more lives, even though I do think it's mostly for fame here. But even then, if it's for fame, the hospital gets more money. Obviously, the doctors as well. I think if they're not on a like tariff base, I don't know what it's called. Man, that's really fucked. And yeah, like they were working on construction sites. Like my father did work in the steel industry for all his life, and he did start as a welder. Not a welder. No, he did start in the economics, like in the, what do you say, buying, selling department, and he worked his way up as well. But he had many of those Gastarbeiters, I do think, in the company as well. And like they did construction work, like they go to the farms, they go and build and fall down the fucking things and get their head crushed in by I don't know, these steel bars or whatever they're called. You know, it's. Yeah, so the director decided he needs more money, like him or the hospital. That is really fucking dark, man. I mean, I get her, like, and he seems to be like, he didn't know that. He can't tell me he knew that. Oh god, Jesus Christ. Who cares about the dress when someone died? Yeah, she looks really like one of these very cliche, not in a bad way, high society. Man, the eyes. Oh god, her eyes, they make me so nervous. She looks like she's like looking into your soul, staring into your soul like a demon. And I mean, it's pearls and stuff, so she's probably rich. He's probably rich as well. I wouldn't listen to your stupid story. I wouldn't care. I wouldn't care. My wife doesn't tell me stuff like that, obviously, so. Oh, Dr. Becker fucked up. Yeah. Also, you know what's also really fucked? Dr. Becker, it doesn't have to be. No, I take that back. But it's weird that Dr. Becker was so jolly to him, presumably hours after he had someone die on his table. I would have assumed a surgeon who has someone die in front of them would be different. That's interesting. Let's see if that is something, or like. Yeah, see, she's like disgusted by it. That's so fucking disgusting as well. Like, she's disgusting to me. No, it wasn't his fault. Obviously, it wasn't his fault. I was so afraid you would say that, you fucking I'm sorry, I sometimes swear I have to warn you, fucking bitch. Man. Ooh, and that's awesome. Her eating raw flesh like a predator. Man, she's so fucking scary. Man, that woman is so fucking scary. And he's got a trauma. Brilliant. So we start with trauma again. Many animes start with trauma. almost every anime starts with trauma, I feel. He will not have another night of sleep. Polizei! Ooh, it's the old police cars. I like them. Green ones, they were so cool. Oh, we're at the Liebert family. Yeah, I know who they are. But why? What is with the Liebert family? Liebert means the lovely ones. Something like that. Wow, they're drawing their guns. I don't think German policemen really... Oh, God, draw their guns that much. Oh, my God. So I do think they got really, really, really freaking eviscerated here almost. Looks like a very passionate crime as well, though I don't have no fucking clue if that's a thing. Like, if you can judge with it. Like, very animalistic as well. Oh god, yeah, they had children. Twins as well. Was it her? Did she see it? Yeah, she saw it! Very nice, she fucking saw it. Oh, and her brothers. So she almost killed her brother? No, it's from the outside. Wow. That's so fucking weird, man. You know, it's like this uncanny thing within reality in this show, and I love it already. Like, it's so uncanny, some of the stuff, even though it's normal. So he's gonna operate on the boy, I guess. Oh, holy shit, someone shot him in the head. Oh, so they weren't attacked with a knife or something, they were shot, I guess. Huh. Oh. It's her napkin or something. He looks also a bit like a monster. I don't know why. Is everyone looking like a monster? That's why it's called Monster? Oh, so he's also from the doctor's family. I can tell you something funny as well. I just learned that yesterday from a friend and colleague of mine who... He's now, like, he went to school, I do think in the 90s or something. No, before that. Even before that. No, far before that. So he went to school in East Germany, and everyone was either supposed to go into the military to get a university place they wanted, and if your parents were doctors, you were not allowed to be a doctor because the thing was... Or not easily allowed to be a doctor, like not complete, like not easily allowed to be a doctor, because the government's reasoning was like this. So they were like very centralized and planning everything, like this planned government, like it was like in a very communist idea of let's distribute everything, you know, this idea. So they were like, so we've got medicinal families, and the problem is their children are mostly clever because IQ is in many cases, and like with some variability, it is inherited often. So, and if it is not, at least they will give their children better education most of the time on average. So, you know, you have a pretty good bet with the child of two doctors or a doctor to also be pretty competent in what they do. Like in some, mostly. So their reasoning was, if they go into the medical profession again, like all the clever people are only in medical professions, we have to spread that out. So that's why they very, very rarely wanted medical people to, like, if your parents were medical people, to go into the medical profession. They are here in the West, though. We have to keep that in mind. So that is very interesting. So for them, it makes probably a lot of sense to not have that, because it is cliche, and it is, I'm not 100% sure if it was always like this, but they obviously have more free choice. That's like what I've been told, at least. So if that's wrong, correct me in the comments, but that's from the people I know. Like, everyone could do what they wanted, but it was still a very, very big, like, there was a very classicist idea in Germany, from what I've heard. Because there was a school form that is, and it is still there, it's called Gymnasium. It's like it's like a high school, I think. Like it's the upper school level, so to speak. So there are 3 school levels of in West Germany, and the highest one is this gymnasium. And in these times, like 20% or less of the people went there. Nowadays, like 70% go there because everyone wants their kid to go there because you need to go there to get to university. So, and everyone wants to go to university, obviously, no? Which is a problem in Germany right now. Because the problem, of course, is if everyone goes to university, no one's doing the trades anymore, and it's effing up the country really, really, really hard right now. Really hard. In part that. There are other reasons, but, you know, and so I do think this doctor is from a rich family, so I guess they might have also relatives in this profession. And he wants to marry, like, he wants to stay in this class of doctors, teachers as well. Like, it was like a higher class. And then you had the working class, like the Turk, by the way. And he was even lower, I think. So, very classicist society. So, this reeks of classicist stuff, and so he wants, like, so he's okay with marrying the same class as his daughter, as he is. No, his daughter marrying the same class as he is. I think that's very reasonable. But it's almost like aristocracy a bit. Obviously, it's not that. It's not with titles, but no. It's probably too expensive. Oh, okay, yeah. His father probably wants to help people as well. Oh, really? As a high school student, yeah. Perhaps he was also Gastarbeiter. Eisler Memorial. Yeah, he was writing a paper. Why would you can't do that? I mean, he can cancel the funding for the research, but he can't cancel the research, I think. Like, he can cancel him having access to the equipment and stuff. Like, I don't know completely about medicinal PhD thesis or research, like postdoctoral research. Because, yeah, he's a doctor, I mean, obviously, so postdoctoral research. But, yeah, it's probably to do with funds. So he's withdrawing funds, but why? So what? What an asshole. That's such an asshole, man. And also that happens. Really? Really? And who was that? Let me guess. Yeah. 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 It was the Turkish group. That's what I said as well. That's exactly what I said. It's like the Gastarbeiters had their societal circles and they were like, you're not doing this to our friends or our community, so to speak. Because it's a local, like, often a little community. Like, I do have, in the city I was at during my PhD times in Münster, there is a UdSSR, so a former Russian community, like, and I do have several, like, I do have a very good friend in there, and I know all the people, and they are also like a community. They're very kind, but like they stick together. These people, they stick together. So if you fuck with one of them, they will come for you, and obviously they won't. Like, in those times, they didn't do violence in most cases. Like, they would just, like, but they were shouting around, like. You know, nowadays you probably just stab people or something, but really it was. Yeah, that's what you say, but he knows better. Why would you tell him? He probably tells him so he, yeah, that's what I was about to say. He tells him so to be like, if someone asks you, that's what you say, understand? So Dr. Heinemann is actually one of those asshole researchers that just take the work of their students. In my field, I've never heard that done. It is common practice in my field that the supervisor of a PhD thesis always has their name at the end of the paper, but first author, so the main contribution always goes to the person writing the paper. I've never seen it done differently. Sometimes if we work together on papers and everyone does equal shares, we just like randomly distribute the first and second name. You know, that's like, so if you read a paper, the first name is the one who did most of the work. So, and on conferences normally, so I don't think they do have that. So he will probably not put his name on the conference paper. Normally at conference paper, it's the same. You can have, if you have a talk at a international conference, you can have all the names on the talk, and it doesn't even matter who gives the talk. It could be like the fifth name gives the talk. No one cares, at least in my profession. And so everyone's on the talk, and it's okay. So if that's the case, it would be okay what he's doing here, because it would be like, yeah, I go to the conference, I meet old colleagues, and please, your name will be on the paper, and we will just I will just distribute it. But it's very important to get me prestige and us, our hospital, prestige. But the way he's drawn, it's like, no, I'm just gonna take your work, but not gonna give your name on that, because it was said before by Becca as well. You know. Also, no, you're not a scholar. Oh God, this is gonna be so long. I'm so sorry. I mean, that's so you know how my reaction analysis are. So the thing also is from a point of research. So in Germany we have university clinics. They're called Universitätsklinik, which is basically a clinic, like one of the clinic, like where I'm living in the city. The clinic is like two blocks down the road. It's mostly a big complex, and they specialize in some areas of research. And the best professors work there, as far as I know, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as far as I understand, the best professors work there and the students work there. So it's like where people learn to be doctors, but under the guidance of the best. So if you want to I will phrase it differently to be a bit more fair, because that's like, I just heard it, like the reputation of these Universitätsklinikum are always better, because the papers are written there, new studies are done there, and if you go there, you can be pretty sure that someone's going to look at you who's either really, really clever, or who's very new and doing this stuff, but supervised. So they, like when you start a profession, you are like full of ideas, and like you want everything to be right, and you want to make a good job. And many people always want to do a good job, but obviously if you start, you have this new spark of everything's new. I have to be perfect as well. So those are the places we go to in Germany if you really can have luxury to make it there. So in those, the research is published, so the professors there also do research. So yeah, I want you to work on my manuscript. See? So that's because he's using you and me, not our. And he should say our. That would be the common courtesy practice, or whatever you say in my field of work. Oh, wow, that was second sleep. Schlecker! It was a fucking... It was a what do you say? The car, the big car with the things in from Schlecker. So Schlecker is like Walmart. It's a German Walmart that I do think they went bankrupt in like 2010. Man, this is so nostalgic in some weird way. It's so funny, man. Schlecker truck, yeah. So he's overworked. He's having like the second sleep, or whatever you call it in English. Very bad stuff. That's fucking dangerous. Really, really dangerous. Oh, the Malteser. So again, no more German facts. So we have Malteser here. Malteser are, I think, an organization that is also a care organization of some sorts. And I only know that many ambulances are from Malteser. I don't know if they are a branch of hospital network, if they're their own thing. I think they're their own thing. And as you know, my name is Malte. So like this is my name, and then every time I see an ambulance, my name's on it. It's pretty cool. Oh, holy shit. The Liebert boy looks pretty fricked. Did the bullet come out though? That's really bad, man. Also, he's really fricked, man. He's almost asleep. Like, she's in fucking shock. Yeah, man, like if she's not a dog, I'm gonna eat a broom or at my head. I do think people have told me that it's the saying goes, I will eat my head. I will eat my bow tie then. Like she's like, she has seen things. And I mean, we know she has. She saw her parents get horribly murdered and she's like, what is she, 8? Oh my god, man. Like that won't leave her alone ever. Like it's almost literal. I do think you could consider a literal scar on the brain, that trauma. Wow, that's really freaky. Oh god, what? Yeah, someone killed your parents.
わかった。今行く。
Wow, that looks awesome. Wow, it's in the brain. So where did it stop? Hippocampus?
銃弾が左中大脳動脈をかすめている。
Ooh, that is bad.
ドクター天馬の言う通りだ。
And probably an artery is like, if you hit that, you're dead.
犯したら破裂して。
Yeah, you're dead.
遅れて申し訳ない。
Who the fuck are you?
当直のあなたがこんなに遅れてどうす
Dr.
るんですか。
Becker looks so different from what he was.
骨片の除去。
Man, Dr. Becker is giving me a real bad vibe because he's obviously not taking his job seriously. Like he's not giving 2 fucks, I feel. How long does he work there? I don't know.
最後に損傷血管形成。
Wow, are you trying that? Yeah, oh no, Dr. Becker now looks like he did before. Okay. Yeah, he says let's do our best.
血圧120の80。脈拍
I find these rooms so scary. Yeah, and you have to shave the head. Holy shit, this is so like I love the drawing style as well. It's so eerie.
ドクター天馬、
Oh god, who the fuck are you?
君はこっちじゃない。大至急、第一手術
Are we doing this again?
ベッカー師匠が脳血栓で倒れたんだ。
Major Rodaka.
ヘリでこっちに向かっている。
Oh, the same situation. What's he gonna do now? This time he knows.
もしそうだったら君が出頭する。
Oh my god, yeah.
たった今あの子供のオペを。
The Becker would kill the boy. He's probably drunk. Like I'm exaggerating. But I could see that even be the case. Him being like, yeah, I was just partying and just now back, freak this boy. Then again, the boy probably does not have a lot of, the boy doesn't have status because the family fled. I don't know if the family has money, but they are surely fugitives. So it's a similar situation as the Gastarbeiter, but a bit better because they're Germans, I think, but I'm not sure. Like, it's a bit of racism potentially there that they have. So, like against Gastarbeiters often. So they wouldn't have that against people from East Germany, though they still have other heavy prejudices. So it's not like, even though it's not racism against them, it's still bad prejudices, and sometimes not even prejudices, but, you know, it was a very fucked time. But, yeah. What's he gonna do now?
院長からのお達しだ。
Does he have to adhere to the orders of the director, though? I do think you can say no if your Hippocratic oath is under fire, and it might be here. But I'm not sure. I don't know. Tell me in the comments if you know. That would be interesting. If your boss says, no, we will reallocate resources.
今日の件よろしく頼むよ。
Oh, God. Dr. Eisen! I'm sorry. I love that Eisen is in German, iron, and Boyer.
しかし院長、僕はたった今。
He should have just started the
こっち
operation.
はドクターベッカーに任せれば。
Yeah, man. The thing is, though, if he now says, no, I'm gonna do it, Dr. Becker's already there. He is. Like, it's hard. I do think it's not easy.
ていて大変難しいオペになりそうなんです。
Yes.
あの子供のオペは僕が執刀しな
How bad is it for the mayor, though? If the mayor is okayish, I would be like, yeah, okay, fine.
全力を挙げて市長を救ってくれたまえ。
Oh, man.
は次の医療審査で
Yeah. See?
金を大幅に増額することを
Yep.
約束
I was afraid he was gonna say that. That's
してもらっては困るんだよ。
interesting, man. the ethical implications here are really bad. Would you do that? And would you seriously do that? Like, I know it's easy to say, obviously, you take the boy here. Because as we've learned in Attack on Titan, and I will not spoil it, but children are the future and you should take care of them. Otherwise, it's going to be horrible. The thing is, though, you could potentially, and I don't think, like, I know the situation is presented as, we just want the money, so go to the mayor, the boy is just a boy and he does not have money. But the money would help save more lives. It's a trolley problem here, and there's no right answer, I would argue. I don't know what I would do here, actually. I didn't, like, and you're under stress, like, he's completely overslept, potentially overslept because he's still traumatized by what the Turkish family told him, and the unrest and his guilt over that. And he saw the girl's brother be in shock, and he knows, if I don't save this boy, his sister will probably be like never happy again. And she saw me, even though she's not really responsive. She might have seen me. She will blame me as well. And now I have to go away. But Dr. Becker's there. Dr. Becker's there. And it could turn into a potentially bad operation. It could. So I don't think it's as easy as just being like, yeah, save the boy. I don't think it's that easy. I know it's portrayed as that a bit, but it's really complex. What's he gonna do? Also love the old phones. I remember them a bit. Like, I had more modern ones, but... Is the Major requiring genius operation, though? That's the question, if he, you know... I mean, you do have a Hippocratic Oath, so... But is the Hippocratic Oath... like, done away with if he goes away? Yeah, it wasn't... I don't know. That's not it, though. I know she says that, and she probably thinks that because she seems to be a classicist a-hole. But the thing is, we don't know in this situation. We just don't know. Dr. Becker's there. He's incredibly incompetent from what I've seen in relation to him, but he's there. So he has a doctor. And you can't be like, it's also a bit like, yeah, I don't trust my colleague. Even though your colleague might be a fucking idiot. Like, this also means, like, if he now goes back to the boy, he's like, also, he's A, being like, we don't need money to save more lives. B, I'm against the orders of my boss. C, I think my colleague's a fucking idiot. And, D, I don't know. It's just to C. Ignore that I said D. But I like that because his fiancé saying that is now digging into his psyche. So it's interesting. Yeah. Get it though, I get it. It's a boy. If you see a boy before you and you go away, risking his death, would you do that? That's fucking brave, but I don't think that's the best cause. I don't know. Do you think? It's not that it's the director, so I hope you understand that I'm not saying the director is right here in that, because the director is portrayed as this self-serving asshole a bit. I do get the feeling about him, the drawing and the way he talks with my and you, like those things he says. But the thing is, if we disregard that, this is a trolley problem. There's no right answer, and Dr. Becker's there. I know he's probably an idiot, but he can't be that big of an idiot because he is a surgeon. The tests are pretty hard. Even if you bribe your way in, let's say, which I don't think he did, but, you know, that's fucking bonkers what he's doing here. Like, what the frick? Operationssaal 3. So, I don't think I would have done that, but I'm unsure. Wow, she looks so dead inside. God, that is so scary. I love this drawing, sir. She again said kill. I'm sad the subtitles didn't. Yeah, okay, so the subtitles did tell me. Ooh, the Butzemann. Interesting. I know I'm not supposed to watch the outro, so I will not, but this is the Butzemann. I think. So the Butzemann is a German monster. It's like the thing that hides under your bed. It's the boogeyman. It's the German boogeyman. I think. It might be another mythical figure, but I do think it's the boogeyman. Interesting. What is like the only monsters I've seen in this show are traits of the characters currently. So let's see if there are other monsters, if this is gonna turn supernatural. Because again, we have the supernatural thing here, so anyway. I this probably spoiled stuff. So anyway, that was it. I know this was a long one, so now you know how I do things if you're new. It was probably it was really fucking fun. I lived watching it. This is really dense and interesting, and you know what? It's also cool. It's a trip down memory lane a bit. Like I was born in '92, so but I know these things from media. Like I watched movies that took place in this time, and for example, the police cars and the Malteser ambulances there was still a thing and stuff, and so it's really cool. Like it's very well grounded in reality, so to speak. Very interesting, and I love the little details with the historical stuff, like the Gastarbeiter family, even though it wasn't called like that, but the East West and like so many, like someone really understands the Germany of those times. I feel. I hope it continues like this. So anyway, I hope you did like this reaction. If you did, consider liking and subscribing. If you didn't like, just tell me why you didn't like it, other than I talk too much, which I know. That's what I do. If you don't like me talking like this so much, this reaction channel and analysis channel is not for you. It's just like that. And I wish you Godspeed. I get that. I also don't like every video I watch. I then don't watch more, but so, and I will also, by the way, I only say this in the first episode because people might be new. Like from this point onward, I would probably try not to say this again, that I talk a lot and stuff, because but yeah, that's really interesting. Very nicely done characters. I really like the Uncanny Valley drawings. Like especially the Heinemann family was very uncanny in the drawings. And the trauma and stuff, like it feels a bit like a horror movie already, I think, and I really love it. Like it's eerie, uncanny, and it's like this bubbling darkness underneath everything. And there are slight moral, or some are even like pretty big moral problems under the surface of this hospital, and very, very interesting and well written. I would not have expected this to be something called Monster, but I'm so intrigued. Because in like a monster obviously is something you're afraid of, but it's also inside you. Monsters in everyone, forest is in everyone. It is so interesting. I don't know how many I can watch after one another. Like it's like a lot to think. It's so much interesting stuff. So I might not get through this quickly, but it is so freaking interesting. I love this. This was a really good pilot. I'm sorry, my German is sometimes slipping through, and I'm starting to ramble in. So I don't know. If you like this, tell me. Also tell me, who would you have saved? Would you have saved the mayor, or would you have saved the little boy? Because I could have found arguments for both. And I do think actually the reasonable thing would have been to save the director, and the only reason he didn't was because of the trauma he himself had, because he seems to be a very upstanding, empathic man, in contrast to Dr. Becker and Heinemann and his fiancée, and he's struggling with that. So he has to defend himself against them as well. Like he doesn't know if what he is correct, so to speak. Might be because the Japanese culture, I heard, and this is just hearsay, so don't like shout at me if it's incorrect or correct me if it's incorrect, but they are more they seem to be outwardly more kind and understanding, and they are for rules a lot and for duty and for working ethics. That's like, at least in these times, that's what I heard. That's like my very stereotypical view of this, and obviously that's probably not that correct, but it also would fit a bit, or at least like we don't even have to go there. He is a very calm, inwardly directed, thinking, morally upstanding. I would say he tries to be morally upstanding because he did that in the end, and he didn't know about the Turk. That's why he looked and he was like, okay, what is that about? So, like, everything in this episode culminated in the scene of him not doing it, and it wasn't an easy choice and it wasn't an obvious choice. And I would argue probably if not all of this had happened, he wouldn't have chosen the boy. Perhaps it's interesting. Do you think he should have chosen the boy or not? Like in this situation, I don't. The unfortunate argument is probably you save more lives if you save the mayor. That's really fucking bad. But then again, you should never let a child, die as well. So it's like, anyway, it's just so much to think about. I'm not done thinking yet. So take care of yourself as always, and consider liking, subscribing, as I said. And the next one will be soon. See you around. Bye.